So, how does a company actually earn your trust? I mean, before you even pick up the phone. It's not about flashy ads, right? It's about building an identity, almost like brick by brick. So today, we're going to dive into how one company, AAA Satellites and Aerials, does it. We're going to look at their public-facing stuff and see if we can figure out their blueprint for building trust. Okay, it all kicks off right here with their tagline. Now, this isn't just some catchy phrase they came up with. It's really a two-part promise. On one hand, you've got trust their technology, and on the other, rely on their service. Two big claims. So let's see how they even try to prove both of those things. So who is this company anyway? Well, in a nutshell, they're the people who connect, well, pretty much everything. We're talking satellite dishes, TV aerials, full-on smart home setups, even corporate security systems. You know, they're in that whole world of audio, visual, and communication tech, and they do it for just about everyone, from homeowners to big businesses. Right, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll meet the company and check out their core promises. Then, we'll look at their project portfolio to see if they walk the walk. After that, we'll hear the client verdict. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the big takeaway. Sound good? Let's go. Okay, let's start at the very beginning, the foundation, really. What exactly are the promises? What does this company actually guarantee its customers right out of the gate? Okay, boom. Right away, we see their most solid, concrete promise. It's super simple. A 5-year guarantee, and that's on every single installation. I mean, that's a pretty bold number, isn't it? It's meant to scream quality, durability. It tells you they're in it for the long haul, and they stand by their work. And you know, right alongside that big long-term guarantee, you've got this upfront assurance, no obligation estimates. It's such a simple but powerful way to take all the risk off the customer. It basically says, look, we'll be totally transparent with our pricing, and we're not going to pressure you. It's all about building that trust before a single dollar is even on the table. So it's not just about the hard numbers, you see. They also build their whole identity on these principles. Get this, they're not just technicians. They're local, friendly, and qualified. They don't just do a job. They promise openness and professionalism. These are kind of the softer promises, the ones that really give the brand its personality. All right, so they've made a lot of promises. But you know what they say? Promises are just words. Now it's time for the proof. Do their actions actually match their words? Let's take a look at their project portfolio. Just look at this table. It really shows the incredible range of their work. I mean, on one end, you've got a huge retailer like Madeline that needs complex security and communication systems. Then you jump all the way over to a private home, Mansion House, getting a complete smart home makeover. And then you see something totally different, like specialized fire systems for the Diocese of Guildford. This isn't a company that does just one thing. This portfolio is basically screaming, we can do it all. And this is exactly why that range is so important. Think about it. For you or me at home, the problem might be a fuzzy TV signal, or maybe just tidying up that rat's nest of cables behind the TV. But for a big corporate client, the stakes are way, way higher. They're worried about health and safety regulations, huge data installations, and deadlines you absolutely cannot miss. Any company that can handle both those worlds, well, that's a company that truly knows how to adapt. Okay, so we've looked at the promises and we've seen the projects, but let's be real. The ultimate proof, the real acid test, always comes from the people who've actually paid for the service. So let's hear the client verdict.
I mean, wow, you really can't ask for a better endorsement than that, can you? It's not just a review, it's a nickname. Calling them the A-team, that says so much about their skill, their execution, and how they delivered an incredible job. That's powerful stuff.
And here's another one that hits on a different promise we saw earlier, their expertise. This quote points out that they don't just show up and install stuff. They offer expert advice that helps a company make smart decisions. See that? That's a huge shift. It takes them from being just a contractor to being a trusted consultant. And then you get this one. You will struggle to find better. I mean, it doesn't get more direct than that. There's no fluff, no beating around the bush. It's just a bold, confident statement from a client that says, these guys are the best. You know, sometimes a short, punchy quote like this hits way harder than a long, drawn-out one. And to wrap up the testimonials, this one is all about consistency. The key words that jump out are high standard and always first class. That little word, always, is so important. It tells you that top-notch quality isn't something that just happens sometimes. It's their standard way of doing things. Every single time.
All right, we've seen the promises, we've looked at the portfolio, and we've heard from the clients. So what's the big takeaway here? Let's put all the pieces together and see if we can figure out their formula for success.
So what we're seeing is this really powerful loop, right? It all starts with making clear, specific promises, like that 5-year guarantee. Step 2, they demonstrate their expertise with a really diverse portfolio of work. Then, and this is the key, they validate all of those claims with these amazing client testimonials. And by consistently delivering high-quality service, they basically prove their initial promise was true, which just starts the whole cycle over again. It's a simple but brilliant formula. Promise, prove, validate, and repeat.
And that really brings us to the final question here. When your world needs connecting, what does trust really look like? This whole breakdown shows us that trust isn't just some vague feeling, it's a result. It's what happens when clear promises are backed up by undeniable proof. So the real question to leave you with is, what does that proof look like to you?